reading over your notes over there. Trying to figure out where we're going to go. See, when we get here, people, I do very little preparation. Craig comes in with notes, ready to roll.
I only have one question.
Do tell.
Where the fuck were you? One thing I know about you, and it's crazy, and it's only happened a few times. When you don't return calls, it's because you're mad.
Ooh, yes.
And not at me.
No,
just you're mad. Something's bugging you. You don't want to talk to anybody.
Oh yeah, yep. I isolate.
You isolate hard, and I said, dude, I need to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't reply, and I said, can I call you tonight? No reply.
Right.
Next day, hey man, I got to talk to you about recording. And then you didn't reply. I tried calling, you didn't pick up.
I think I had actually made it where no phone calls and no texts could come in because I didn't want to be bothered at all.
And all I knew is that you were going in to do a photo shoot with the band.
Right.
And I thought, what the fuck happened with the band?
Well, Craig, let me tell you.
All right.
Nothing happened with the band. The photo shoot was incredible. Really good vibes. Awesome. We talked about my doing stand-up. We talked about the podcast. Talked about everything else going on in everybody's lives. It was a beautiful day. Beautiful day. This past week, I had also done some interviews promoting this podcast with Kill Pop, Carlota from over there. It's a local, like a music news type video thing.
Okay.
Carlota used to work for Comp, and now she's at X107.5, and she offered to let me come on there, and had a nice interview. Everything was great. She was talking about how wonderful I looked, like the brightness in my eyes, and things are going good. I think last week, I finally sent out one last message to the ex, reaching out saying, hey, I would like, there's a couple of shows coming into town. If you're up for it, I would really like to take you. And
to the ex?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that happened. And then I had my closure at that point because it was a direct message on Instagram. Much like me, leaves it on red, no response. I'm like, okay, at least now I know I have proof that she's seen the message, no response. Okay, I need to be hands off. I really felt like there was closure at that point.
Okay.
I was walking on cloud 9, just like, okay, cool. Like I'm able to move forward, all this stuff. And again, Carlota, people at the gym just talk about the pep that I had in my step. I go to this photo shoot. Awesome.
You're building up a great day.
Yes.
What happened?
You see where the fender hit the brick wall coming up. So I'm at the photo shoot, and I hadn't talked to the ex in 6 weeks probably.
Okay.
And I got a text from her during the photo shoot. Yeah. And it changed my entire vibe. Caught me off guard. I didn't like it. I felt like I was being felt like it was a power play, like manipulated one.
How early into the photo shoot does this happen?
We had already done the individual shots, and we were getting ready to do the group shots.
Okay.
So when these photos come out, just know that any really individual, just know that my day changed from the time that I was doing. And again, even
they're going to throw out all your individual shots and go, this is the guy we need.
Even the photographer was like,
what happened to this asshole?
Dude, even the photographer was like, man, you look great. Like you are so happy. And like things are like, you look healthy, fit, like alive. I was like, yeah, thanks, man. And then this text came in. I don't want to go into the details, but it's one of those things where I felt that even Zoltan said when I got this text, like, why is she messaging now? She was trying to rob you of your joy. You're here finally doing a band photo.
Wow.
And she just happens to message right now. So,
but the thing I don't understand is how does that make you not want to talk to anybody?
Because I had finally felt like I had closure, and then felt like that scab had been ripped off and fingers dug in again. I was like, it's cruel. It's absolutely cruel. And that's what I said.
In your reply.
Yeah. I said, hey, hey, I miss you. I miss my friend. I miss date nights. I miss being able to like share stand-up comedy with you.
You said that to her?
Yeah. I sent her a little video message after her first message. Oh and then she said something to the effect of maybe at some point I'll be in a place where seeing you in person is something I'll want to do. But for right now, I'm going to go. Wish you the best. I'm like, no, you can't just, no. I had, at this point, when I got that message, I think I told you, I can't remember. I said, no, thank you. This stops now. This back and forth is cruel. I want no part of it. I'm not going to allow this to continue to happen. You know where you can find me. If you want to come over, sorry, I know Craig likes to do this a lot.
I always get like super ADHD.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, at this point, no, I'm taking my power back. I'm not doing this anymore.
Anybody else trying to reach you during this time that you're not responding to? Everybody.
My ex-wife Natalie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing. So right after that, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm not going to allow this access anymore. This manipulative kind of, back and forth. So now blocked on Instagram, blocked phone. If you want me now, come to my house. I am done. I'm done with it where it is right now. I'm not done with it where it was. And romanticizing back then, I very much would like it to go back to that. But where it is now, no, it's not happening anymore.
Dude, when your friends reach out to you and they need to talk to you, you got to call them back.
Oh, I would have. I was a bawling, crying mess. I had a panic attack that night too.
Ooh.
Yeah, I thought I was having a heart attack. I lost my shit.
Well,
and then the next day, I woke up. I was going to completely blow off training. I was not going to message Gil. Just fuck it. I don't care. I'm done with everything.
It hit you hard.
Oh yeah. I was white knuckling life. It across the board.
Well,
every bad thing that I could have done, I wanted to do, and I was holding on. Yeah.
Well,
I go fucking dark.
Yeah, I don't relate to it. I needed to get in touch with you because I wasn't sure if I was going to come in today or not. I wanted to talk to you about that.
Oh, well, see, by me not responding, put a foot in your ass and got your ass in here. That's good.
I flew in here from Hawaii. I went to Hawaii where my girlfriend and I broke up.
Shut up.
In Hawaii.
No way.
And it only gets worse from there.
Nuh-uh.
And I needed to talk to you.
Shut up.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
For real.
For real.
Look at me being a fucking dick. No way.
And I was trying to reach out to you to say, hey, man, I need some time to think about this before I actually talk about it.
Uh-huh.
And you weren't replying. And I was like, and then the prices kept going up. And I was like, fuck, you know what? I'll just go into Vegas. We'll just do this. And then I'll fly out from there.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
Did you get copyright on the fucking logo so we can still use that?
I told her I just want to give her a percent. I mean, this is before that conversation even happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was crazy.
You know what? This is good news, Craig. Me and you both single at the same time. Oh,
I don't know if that's good news.
Lock up your daughters, gentlemen. Craig and Gass about to pound that ass.
I went down there with, you know who joined us was Dave Buckner and Stacy. They came down.
So he caused it then is what you're saying.
No, not at all.
Y'all saw him on the podcast.
Not at all.
He looks like this nice guy.
They're both wonderful people.
In Hawaii.
And dude, a crazy thing happens in Hawaii where Dave Buckner goes, we go to Honolulu first.
Okay.
And Dave Buckner, I had to take care of some stuff for the podcast on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And Buckner and everybody, they went down to the beach in Waikiki. I show up at the beach and the girlfriend goes, hey, there's somebody. This is actually really funny. She goes, there's somebody here who you know. And I go, who's that? And she goes, Danny Trujillo. And I go, you mean Danny Trejo? I don't know Danny Trejo. And she goes, no, Danny Trujillo from Metallica. And I go, nobody in Metallica. And Buckner comes over and goes, dude,
Robert
Trujillo and Kirk Hammett are over here.
No way.
In the water in Waikiki. Nobody's talking to them. They're just surfing.
Bass and drums. Nobody cares.
Dude.
I know.
Guitar and bass.
That's right.
Guitar and bass.
Yeah.
And dude, I knew that Kirk lived there. That he lives in Honolulu, but it was so random.
And
I was like, man, we should tell them like come to my show because I'm in town to do these huge theater shows with Russell Peters.
Man.
Russell Peters is doing 2 nights, one night in Maui, one night in Honolulu. Big theater shows, and I'm like, you know what? This is kind of cool.
Hell
I can
yes.
tell them, oh, me? Yeah, I'm doing some theater shows over here. If you guys want to come down, I can see if I can hook you up, man. Maybe we can make some room for a couple guys from Metallica.
Yeah. Let me ask Daddy Russell.
Yeah. I go over to Maui, and there was just a moment where she said she was unhappy. And she gave me all the reasons why she was unhappy. And I couldn't argue any of it. Everything she said was spot on, legitimate. And I had no defense for it. And it just kept going to the point where I was like, so this is over then, I think. It sounds like this is over. Right. And she had her bags packed. She was like, are you going to stop me? And I said,
ugh, what fucking game is that?
I said,
are you going to stop me? No, said, bitch. No. The fuck out.
You know what? I would never say a negative word about her.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Let me clarify. I'm saying this for comedic sake.
She loves you.
Yeah, she's a wonderful girl.
I know that you love her.
And same with me. I have not said one bad thing about my ex as well. I have taken it on the chest, acknowledged, much like you're saying now, the things that she was laying out.
Yeah.
Cool. I see it now.
Yeah.
Same thing. Taking full responsibility in my part in that. And it sounds like that's what you're doing as well.
It was just tough to hear her being so upset. And then she was at the door and she goes, well, if you want to stop me. And I was like, why would you want to be with me after everything you just said to me? Like,
right.
You just told me a lot of bad things that I've done.
Yeah.
And
you can't take that those verbal words back.
And so I sat down, she opened the door, she walked out, and here's the crazy thing. I look over and I have this suite and the most beautiful sunset I've ever seen in my life is taking place. Yep. Matthew, I actually recorded it and I told Matthew, you got to push play on this thing. She walks out the door. I'm holding back tears.
Somebody kill him.
Yeah. Well, I always, like anytime it's a beautiful shot, I always post some kind of murderous thing because I know that people look at that and go, oh, fuck this guy. But yeah, I look out the window.
This is how long after the breakup?
This is literally the door just closed.
Oh my God.
See? And she's walking down the hallway.
The universe letting you know everything is going to be just fine.
Yeah.
For real. Look at that.
You can't, the audio is muted because next door.
Is that Robert Trujillo out there in the middle?
It was because copywritten music was, so they had to, they
kill me softly.
No, it was fucking Nazareth. Love hurts.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then, and I'm like,
damn.
I'm like, let me just go online and try to, like keep my mind occupied.
Was this the same day that I was going through my stuff?
I started calling you after that and said, I think it was the next day.
Okay.
Because I didn't say anything to anybody for like 24 hours.
I get it.
I remember going to TMZ, just like, oh, let me see what's going on in the world. And there's a woman who just passed away. Her name's Angie Stone. She was a singer. And I was like, I never heard of this girl. And it's like, well, she was famous for a song called I Wish I Didn't Miss You. And I'm like, God damn it. Like everything. Oh,
waterworks.
And then I got to show you what my phone did to me. And this is literally, I even sent it to her and said, hey, I just wanted to send this to you because this is crazy. She closes the door and I get a notification on my phone. And Nazareth Love Hurts is playing next door. The notification is my phone makes videos for me.
Okay.
Just random videos like
memories and stuff, combining them.
Madison Square Garden through the years.
Yeah.
And it's just different concerts I've gone to at Madison Square Garden. Vegas, over the, whatever. And it just said, Together. This is the name of the video, Together. And it's a collection of videos and pictures of her and I together.
Damn you, Steve Jobs, from the grave.
Yeah.
Still doing it.
And then I get a text. Well, there was a couple texts. Matthew texted me and said, Matthew is the most low-key, the rent is due guy in the fucking world.
Yep.
Hey, man, just want to let you know, just don't forget, you got to pay that money. And I was like, yeah, Matthew, I'll take care of it. And he goes, okay, cool. The next day, I get a text from Russell Peters. And I'm like, I find out, and I can't wait to hear from Russell because I find out Jeff Ross is in town.
Hell yeah.
For some reason, Jeff Ross is in Maui. And I'm like, oh, hey, Jeff, I'm I'm doing a show at a theater. A couple guys from Metallica might be coming down. If you want to come down, I get a text from Russell. hey, buddy, sorry to tell you the shows are canceled. And I was like,
Is that?
I go, get. And I even replied by saying, oh, is this like this is the Elon Musk thing where I got to give you a list of 5 things I did last week so I can prove to you that I'm worthy of opening this show? And he goes, wish it was, buddy, but the promoter pulled the plug.
Really?
And I was like, what the fuck? So now
you just
instead of getting covered for my travel, this is all coming out of my pocket.
Oh my God. Her flights too?
No, you know what? She actually covered her flights and met me down there.
Okay. That must be nice. That must be nice, Craig.
Yeah.
Be happy about that. We'll talk about that crap too.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it just kept getting like, it was just like one thing after another. I
think I sent you a video asking you about the shows and you didn't say anything.
You didn't. I was like, this motherfucker, I already paid for these plane tickets to get to Vegas so I could tell him to his face that my whole life went to shit while I was in Hawaii.
Man. Hey, Craig, welcome to the club, man. Yeah. Welcome to the club. Let me tell you, on the other side of it, sometimes the weight that we need to lose isn't our own. That's what Gil told me just this past week.
I saw that. I saw you mention that in the list that you wrote.
I heard that. I was like, damn, that's big. Yeah.
Everything piled up on top of me. Oh. And then probably every time there's a bad piece of news, Matthew would chime in. Hey, dude, I don't have that money. And I go, yeah, dude, I'm going to get you the money. Because I'm like, well, let me talk to Chris to see if we're even going to do this.
I wish we had a video of him right now, just chuckling. This is Matt.
Oh God, if you could really just take care of that cash, man.
Then you say your response.
If I get that cash.
No, your response.
Oh, my response? Yeah. Let me talk to Chris.
And Matt's just over going, yep, it's true. Yep.
Craig's
the rent don't give a goddamn about Heartbreak. Bills must be paid.
That's when it dawned on Craig that despite his pain, the bills were due, bitch. Dude, it was just one thing after another. Yeah. And in between every painful thing, Matthew would come in like, hey, man, still haven't got that money yet.
Oh, man.
Gene Simmons would be impressed with how calmly persistent. Matthew, can you show me your style so I can get more money? It was fucking crazy. Everything fell apart.
How are you? No, I have to chime in on that.
Yeah.
This aggression cannot stand, man. So, all right. So every time I text him when the bill was due and then didn't hear anything.
Me and you wanted the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We both wanted to kill ourselves.
Yeah. If he had just said, Matt.
By the way, that's not true. The first time
one of us wanted to kill ourselves.
No. Well, you want to kill yourself. But you did hear from me. I said, I'm going to take care of it, Matthew. The first time you messaged, I said, I'm always.
But Craig, if you just said, I just broke up with my girlfriend, I'd have been like, oh, shit, man.
But I needed Matthew's reaction here. I'm a fucking professional. I want to come in and get everybody's reaction here when I come in. So I'm sitting there for a few days.
I love this. I was so mad at you the other day when I was trying to tell you about this story.
Yeah.
You're like, no, save it for the pod.
Save it for the pod.
I was like, this Joe Rogan motherfucker monetizing. I mean, I'm not going to say everything I want to say right now.
I'd tell you the same thing. Yeah. I'd be like, save it for the recording.
Yeah.
And then, me being this motherfucker, I'm not going to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I'm going to sanitize this and I'm not going to be able to open up. And then you're holding on to your stuff to be able to monetize it here.
Yep.
That is true podcasting, my friend.
Yeah.
It was
next time, just tell me.
It's
tell me your plan.
It was
oh damn
to be alone in Hawaii and now no shows. Totally, everybody left. The Buckners left. They wanted to get home in time. There was a big concert going on. Some friends of theirs, Disturbed and Seven Dust, were doing a show.
Yeah.
They were kicking off a tour in Boise. So,
nice.
So
I saw the photos of like the get up they were wearing.
Yeah. So they wanted to get home in time for that. And I was just alone in a hotel room on the beach with the knowledge of my shortcomings.
Yep.
And it was...
did you have inklings of your shortcomings before they were laid out before you?
Yeah, and my whole thing is like, I lack self-awareness, and I'm constantly asking to be told what's going on if I'm doing something that's stepping on your toes.
Okay.
Like, and if there's anything that's bothering you, I want to know so we can fix it. And sometimes the thing that's bothering her is something that I'm doing that I'm not aware of how it's affecting her.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as I hear it, then I can make an adjustment. Sometimes I need to be told multiple times and then I can make the adjustment. But it's not, there's nothing I don't want to change if it affects you negatively.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, for whatever reason, that's been me my whole life. I've always had this thing about wanting to improve myself. And that goes.
Is that a people-pleasing thing?
No, it's about the fact that I have no self-awareness.
Oh, okay.
And over the years, people would just be like, dude, why the fuck are you, and I go, holy shit, I didn't even realize, oh my God, like I really had to be, I have made every mistake in the world and didn't know, like I had to be told every time I made a mistake. And I just would do things with no self-awareness.
Yeah.
I've developed a lot of self-awareness now because of it. And especially in recovery, to the point that, I mean, I shouldn't say this, but sometimes I'll meet people after shows that just won't leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be weird about it. They'll be line steppers and,
oh yeah.
And I would describe it to who's now my ex and go, man, this guy was so weird at the show. And he just kept staring at me. And I was like, all right, man, thanks for coming down. And he just like, yeah, well, hey, and then I would always pause and go, you know what, though? I'm pretty sure I did that to Jake E. Lee when I was 15. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I did that to Tesla. I know I did that to
Whitesnake.
Whitesnake. Yeah. Oh, I know I did it to Whitesnake. Yeah. So it's just that constant self-awareness.
My mind is blown.
Yeah. I mean, even now, after, I remember telling you that I used to be jealous of guys like you. I'm always telling musicians, I was always jealous of guys like you because you get to travel with so many people. And then I did it. I did a tour of House of Blues shows across the country with a bunch of comedians. And that was worse than being by myself. And one of the things I learned being on tour with a whole bunch of people where constant meet and greets and people coming in and out of our dressing rooms is I realized a lot of people would come in and disrespect our space in the dressing rooms and stuff and just walk right to our fridge and take our drinks and be like, dude, what the fuck are you, So now I'm really self-aware when I go to shows. If I get invited into somebody's dressing room, I'm always like, do you want me to leave? Mm-hmm. You want me to leave? Okay. And I'll wait 5 minutes. I go, you want me to leave now?
You've done that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to leave now?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that it might be, no, keep hanging out. But 5 minutes later, you might be like, you know what? I got to get ready to get on stage. And I'll be like, all right, cool. And I'm constantly self-aware. Mm-hmm. And it's because I've had a lack of self-awareness my whole life where people just go, that Craig is a fucking asshole. Mm-hmm. And I was being an asshole, but I had no self-awareness about it. And I had to have somebody tell me multiple times about all of my behavior. Mm. So it's always been a constant. Anybody who's in my life who I want to spend my life with, I will tell them, if I'm doing something that's bothering you, tell me.
Yeah.
And then we have a discussion about it.
That's when it blows up. And when you're not straightforward and you're not communicative about it, then that little small thing becomes the focus,
of course,
and it becomes a cancer, and it destroys everything.
Which, by the way, is another shortcoming that I've had.
Cancer?
That people pointed out to me, that I would let things just grow.
Oh yeah.
And then I wouldn't something would bother me, but I wouldn't say it for months. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then a random moment, I would just go, "Oh, you mean like the time that you said this to me?" And
weaponize it. Yeah.
Well, it isn't that. It's just been simmering, and I need to say it when it happens.
Absolutely.
Say, hey, that bothers me. Mm-hmm. But it's sometimes I don't know how to react to a situation, and then I just let it fester, and then I just think, well, tonight's not a good night to talk about it. Tomorrow's not a good night, and I just let it just grow.
Does that come from childhood?
I don't know,
because I've thought about my stuff, and some of that has to do with growing up as I did back in Kentucky. There's definitely love in the house and whatnot, but I don't know that it was ever expressed. And my mom, if my dad was getting mad, my mom would just kind of get small and just stay out of the way and let it blow over, and then cool. And I have a tendency to kind of do that. After this breakup, though, I've I've had a big revelation for me seeing two different people. I'm not going to say who, but two different people that I've seen behaving out of anger and the destruction that has caused in acting out of anger. I know that hell, we got a whole segment called Chris is Pissed.
Yeah.
So that's something that I've been trying to work on. And to have those two shining examples of decisions being made when angry and seeing the devastation and the destruction and just the self-sabotage, honestly, that's happened as a result of decision being made in anger has made me really put a cap on my own anger. Like I still will get sad, but anger, I don't have a place for it right now. I feel really, really good about where I am with anger. Haven't seen the examples of, I have that in me that I could do that and probably have done that before. It's and now seeing it from a mature side, from a being able to step back and it not being me, being like, that's the message that I needed to get right there.
We had a conversation on this podcast, I don't know how many episodes ago, where I thought it was an epiphany for me, and I wasn't sure if you were listening to yourself or if you already knew this about yourself, but I've never seen it. I've only heard about it because you'll tell me that you'll get so angry that you'll just break shit. And then you said that as a kid, that is exactly what your dad did. When he would try to fix things, and when he couldn't get it to go where he wanted it to go, he would break it.
Oh yeah.
And he would, and you picked it up. You picked it up, and that just was in your DNA. And I'm so grateful that I never had anger in my household.
Yeah.
Growing up, there were some other bad behaviors that were going on that I picked up on, like
not being able to hear.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That is fucking hilarious. My whole family's deaf, for those of you who don't know, which by the way, was one of the things I was looking forward to opening up for Russell, because I'll do a whole thing, because I do a short set, 15, 20 minutes. So I talk about how my family's deaf. This is how I learned how to do voices, because my whole family's deaf. And then Russell will always come on and make some kind of joke about like, yeah, come on, make some noise for Craig. Not that his family can hear it. Come on.
I love it.
And he'll make all kinds of deaf jokes and make fun of me and my family as I'm walking off stage. And it was something I was really looking forward to. Russell Peters is one of the funniest dudes on planet Earth, man. That guy will do crowd work he lights up the first 10 rows. It's like a VIP package. The first X amount of rows, you get to meet Russell. And being in the first few rows, they light it all up, and he just goes, where are you from? And he's like, all right, you're brown. Where are you? Where in the world are the brown people that you're from? And you're Asian. What kind of Asian are you? And then he just does crowd work, and he knows everything about every culture. And just half his show is just crowd work, and then he does his stuff, and he's amazing to watch. Man, I felt bad. Jeff Ross being in Maui and him going, hey, man, I don't know if I can make it to the show. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't want to tell him like it's canceled. I can't tell the guys in Metallica to come down now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna nudge them again and tell them like, oh man, it's like there's so many things that collapse in that moment. And
I had a moment today myself. You were talking about that song, Angie Stone, that came on.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like I've kind of turned the corner, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to chase anything anymore. If something doesn't want to be in my life, whether it be if you don't want to be somewhere, fucking go. Yeah. Whether it's a girlfriend, whether it's somebody at a job, whatever. If you don't want to be there, just go. And I got sidetracked and forgot where I was going.
That's all right.
I started getting ready to go off on Chris Pissed rant right there, even though I just said I'm not mad anymore.
Well, I'll jump in and just say that it's tough when multiple exes in your life bring up parts of you that you're like, shit, like, wow, this is like, it's something that's coming up.
Yeah.
And it's a recurring theme and things that I need to work on. And
that's the crazy thing about recovery is that there's always something popping up that you still need to work on. There's always areas of opportunity.
Yeah.
And thank God that we have the awareness now where we can hear that, see it, and then get to work. Like you said with me, with my breakup.
Yeah.
As soon as that happened, boom, I'm working on this. I'm working on that.
Yep.
Jump right into the work. I got no time for lingering areas of opportunity. When something comes up in sobriety and working the program, I am on top of it when it comes up. I definitely still lack some self-awareness sometimes and don't realize that I'm doing stuff. But once I become aware of that, I have the choice to either continue doing that or take contrary action and keep that from happening again. And I am a huge advocate of a practitioner of taking that contrary action and getting right into that area of opportunity. So I'm excited for you for this area of growth. I see the pain.
Dude, I
haven't been through it now. Like I'm in the middle of it. Oh, I hated it.
I had a heaviness in my chest. I cried when she left. Mm-hmm. And then for the next few days, I had I wasn't crying, but my eyes felt puffy, like I was crying.
Yep.
And then I had a heaviness in my chest. She clearly texted the Buckners because Dave hit me up and said, "Holy shit, bro! I just heard what happened." Mm-hmm. And I was like,
"Yeah, why do these girls have to do that? My girl did that to you too." Didn't she?
Yeah.
Shut
my God.
your mouth.
Your girl did the funniest thing. I get a message from her and I'm like, "Oh, I think this is and she goes, "Hey, just want to let you know I'm breaking up with Chris, but it was really fun getting to know you." And I was like, "Oh, all right, bye."
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
It was comical.
There was several. She sent several of those out. Yeah. I'm like,
so yeah. So I really don't know. I mean, it's a tough thing. She's an amazing woman. Mm-hmm. I'm at a point in my life where I don't get involved with bad women. There was a time when you just like you see all the signs, be like, "Oh, but man, yeah," you get excited about it, and then it's all damage and hurt feelings, and then hurt people.
Yeah,
and
that's exactly it. Someone said that to me. Hurt people.
Yeah, and she's an incredible human being, and my takeaway was like, I am so sorry I did that to you. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry that I hurt you.
Yep.
I'm sorry that I wasn't listening.
Yep. Mine was I apologize that I didn't appreciate you the way that I should have. There was definitely a lack of appreciation because I had so much other crap going on at that point. I was totally sidetracked with all these little small things that were getting on my nerves. You know, we've talked about it, being out on the road, just being annoyed with some of the vibe that's out there at times.
Hey, Chris, can I just stop
you? You say?
Hey, you guys still need to pay the
rent. I'll be on it tomorrow, Matt.
Because I don't see the payment yet.
It's coming, Matt.
And we're back.
Please stop.
He's the most low-key, the rent is due guy. All right, listen, can we change?
My response would have been,
all right, let's.
Yeah, I'm charging you. This just became more valuable. eBay, kids.
All right, let's change the subject.
We're paying this entire year.
I was not aware of this. One of my favorite people on planet Earth is Jamie Josta from Hatebreed. And you told me right before we got started here that one of the guys in Hatebreed was fired.
I don't know the full story. That's a lie. that's me putting let me get my PR hat on. I'm good friends with all of those guys. They are some of my favorite people in the world. When I first joined Death Punch, when I had to quit my job, it was because the first full tour that we had was like 10 weeks with us, Hatebreed. I believe All the Remains was on there too.
Okay.
So they were the very first band that I really got to go out on tour with Death Punch and just become lifelong friends with those guys. And then just recently, Hatebreed put out a thing saying that one of the guys from Shadows Fall is going to be playing bass for the foreseeable future. And in my head, I'm like, oh, cool. Like Chris Beatty, I know he's been doing a lot of real estate recently. I'm like, okay, maybe this is going so good that he's like, okay, maybe he's walking away from it. Again, I do know the full story, but I'm going to say here, I don't know the full story for
wink, wink.
Yeah. For, anonymity and for keeping the circle tight. But yeah, I hope that whole thing gets worked out. I did, before I knew more, I immediately sent Wayne and Jamie a message. I was like, Shadows Fall guy, no phone call, no opportunity for me. And then, I talked to other people the following day. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to stay out of this one.
So you heard everything that was going on. So you do know what's going on.
Not everything, but yeah, it just, it's one of those things. Yeah.
When you say you hope everything works out, he's gone.
He just put out a statement saying that he did not leave on his own of his own fruition. Dude, and that he's essentially lawyering up from the statement that I saw.
Dude, it is so hard to get 4 or 5 dudes on the same page about shit. Despite the fact that you might click musically, there could be a magic that happens creatively when the right combination of people get together. But it doesn't mean that when you stop doing the creative stuff that you can get along. Outside of that.
And then on top of that, you've got fans that are so invested in love and hate breed. And then you got like this division that happens with the fans.
Taking sides.
And it's like, that only makes things worse, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, hell, like with side projects and whatnot, I've had a side project recorded for 3 years probably now, full record. And I got a wild hair up my ass during the pandemic. I was like, you know what? I want to do this now. And I was talking to another friend, Clint Lowry from Seven Dust. Thank you for this. He goes, hold on. I know you want to be Bruce Wayne, but you don't give up Batman to be Bruce Wayne. So thank you, Clint Lowry, for those words of advice. Because
great advice.
I was tired of. I mean, I was not in a good headspace at that point because of the pandemic happening and being isolated and just crazy thoughts going on. Yeah, we've discussed this. I do not like being alone. Today, I'm okay with it. I've actually turned the corner and am excited about the hours in the day because I've been doing so much physical activity. Like it's been turning me around. My mental health has been terrible, but I've managed to control the thing that I can control, and that is continuing to stay on top of the physical activity. So I've been crushing the gym, doing a lot of yoga, walking every single day. I feel great. I got a good glow about me. Look at that. Ooh, look at that.
I think when you're
feeling good. So
it's interesting. I feel like when you're younger, the idea of being single is like, well, I'm single now. And you're excited to be back on the market. Like, oh man, let's see, but it's different after you've experienced, this is an arrogant statement, but after you've experienced life and, you just, you just start to like,
I'm trying to see through the words that you're painting, see what you really mean.
It's I'm not excited about being single. There's a lot of stupid women out there.
Oh my, that's the worst.
There are a lot of dumb, which is not, I'm not saying, well, I already said it, but I'm just saying the kind of
as Darcy pointed out, there's a lot of dumb dudes too.
Yeah. I mean,
we do dumb shit too. It's
there's
just trying to start over.
It's, there's like, whenever you meet somebody new and you start to get to know each other, there's always this like, you probably get laid all the time on the road. And the truth is, it is possible to get laid a lot on the road. It's absolutely possible, but it is very rarely the kind of women you want to have sex with.
Yeah.
And it's horrifying.
Much like, was it the Bill Hicks joke that you told me? It takes, I'm addressing the camera here. As Bill Hicks said, and I'm paraphrasing because I didn't hear it. This is me hearing Bill Hicks.
Do you remember the line exactly as it went?
Roughly.
Can I quote it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
I love this.
So the line, because it's a legendary line.
And
Bill Hicks.
He hits it on the head.
He said, folks, traveling around the world the way that I do, this kind of lifestyle that I have, it's going to take one very special woman to put up with this. Or several average ones.
See, I was retelling it. I was saying, it takes one very special lady to love someone like me. But in my market research, I've also discovered a long line of questionable sixes also works pretty damn good too.
Didn't you say you ran into Jeff Ross?
Yes. Oh, so the Dirty at 12:30. Local show here, South Point, hosted by Gabe Lopez, been going on for 11 years now.
It's a Friday night show that's free, which when comedians hear about it, it is frightening, the concept of it, because it's not only free, which is terrible for comedy, because people who don't pay money do not listen.
Bring their Cane's chicken in there. I'm going to watch this. What's going on?
And then it's not only free, it starts at 12:30 at night on Friday. So I'm just thinking cokeheads who just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And it's a surprisingly great show.
It's incredible. I mean,
as
it's very
Chris said,
loyal fan base.
Yes.
Same people. High comedy IQ.
Yes.
They know what to expect. Gabe puts on a wonderful show over there.
And comics know about it. So comics are like, they just drop in like, wait, there's another place I can get on stage?
So I hadn't been on stage for a little bit. Since the breakup, I kind of haven't really been doing a whole lot. Our worlds were very interlinked comedically. So I've kind of backed off and like, you do your thing and I'll do my thing over here. So that's taken away some of the open mics that I used to like to do.
Yeah.
So I haven't been on stage for a little bit. I showed up at Nuwu Comedy Lounge here in Vegas. Gabe will have the headliner from The Dirty do Nuwu first, and then come over and do The Dirty.
Okay.
I showed up and he's like, "You want to go on?" I was completely unprepared.
That burp that you were trying to do off mic just went right in mic.
Y'all can, I don't know. Anyway, well,
Chris,
TikTok that.
Hey, if you're going to burp again, I just need to make sure the jet clears.
Yeah, the cost of this mic keeps on going up. So I got up, and anytime I get the chance to go on stage, I have told myself, never say no.
Of course.
Get on, get the experience.
It's stand up.
I like being thrown into weird situations. I did a show with Josh Wolf, and the first guy,
the Monday night show, Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. And the first guy was getting no response from the crowd, nothing at all. And he hurried up his set. And I'm like in the back hanging out, holding court with Josh and all that. And all of a
sudden
sudden
they call your name.
And I'm like, oh, I didn't have any of my notes. I just had to run out. But it was awesome because I was thrown into the fire pan and just went with it. So same thing happened that night. It was an okay set, but it wasn't great. And then he, at the end, he goes, "Hey, you want to do another 5 over at The Dirty?" Yes, absolutely.
And that's where Jeff Ross showed up.
Will you stop?
I want to hear the Jeff Ross story.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
All right.
So going into this set, I had a subpar set. It was okay, but not great.
Okay.
But I was warm after this. I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go in. Really sat down. Really got used to. Looked at my set. Made sure I had everything going. Had a full hour and a half before I had to get on there, and I just focused on the set. Wrote some new stuff during that I used that night too. That went over great. And I'm sitting in the back, knowing that I'm going to go up, do this 5 minutes. All of a sudden, Eddie Pence comes in, touring comedian. I've seen him open up for Chris Frangiola at Brad Garrett's ages ago.
Okay.
Touring comedian. A guy named Fraser Smith.
Oh yeah, Fraser's a big Hollywood guy. He's always at the Comedy Store. Always wears a suit.
Yep.
Nice guy.
Impeccably dressed. Very nice.
Really professional dude.
Everybody was fawning over this dude. Like, oh, this guy's great. This guy's great.
Yeah, Fraser's the shit.
And then Jeff Ross walks in. I'm like,
whoa.
I'm remembering that set that I had at Nuwu, and I'm going up with these killers. Yoshi was there that night.
Oh, Yoshi.
Just these killers. Absolute killers. And you got me, Mr. Bass Player, trying to be a comedian, going up in front of these killers. I'm like, okay, this is the test for you. Let's get up there. Now the pressure is on. You're either going to deliver or you're done doing comedy.
Where are you in the lineup?
First.
Okay. That's easy, dude. That's easy. There's no pressure there.
Yeah.
Nobody's seen Jeff Ross. It's like, that's easy.
Yeah. But I didn't want to get forgotten after all that.
Well, dude, it's Jeff Ross, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's, I mean, I totally understand that, but dude, it's first is easy though. There's no pressure.
And I didn't,
there's pressure.
I wasn't so concerned about the crowd, but I wanted to make the comedians laugh. And sometimes comedians are the hardest people to make laugh because we've seen it all. Well, let's let me act like I'm a comedian. Comedians have seen it all.
What you won't necessarily get laughs, but you might get like
Yep, I've heard that.
Like an acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
So
I'm on stage and I'm very comfortable at this point. I love The Dirty. I've been there. It's a very supportive crowd for me because I go pretty much every week to go see the show. So they know that I'm part of the Dirty Bird family, as they call it. I'm up on stage. Jeff Ross is over on the side. And I don't want to give away the joke that I told, but I'm telling the audience the joke, the setup. I deliver the punchline and I look over and Jeff Ross is like,
no way.
I'm like, yes.
Oh, that's the best.
Goosebumps thinking about it.
That's the best. Oh, man.
And, sometimes people come up to you after and be like, good set, man. And you're like, okay, you're just being polite.
Right.
But I saw that laugh And then he came up and said, good set after.
Wow.
I was like, oh. Yeah. So that gave me a whole new confidence in the stand-up. I really touched on some personal stuff, life stuff, and poking fun at some of that. And one of them, it got Jeff.
How was Yoshi?
Oh my God.
Okay, so background.
Yep.
Yoshi and I started out together 30 plus years ago. Me, Yoshi, Josh Wolf, Joey Diaz, and Brody Stevens. We all started the same open mic up in Seattle at the Comedy Underground. And
I was unfamiliar with Yoshi until he walked in, and Gabe came up and was like, dude, you have to see.
Yoshi,
he knows I like dark comedy.
Oh, dude, he is the darkest. Yoshi is beloved by Jim Norton, who brings him out on the road a lot to open for him. David Tell, loves bringing Yoshi out to do shows with him. And Russell brings him out for a lot of shows.
Yeah.
And Yoshi has...
For the ones that don't get canceled?
The Yoshi has a thick Japanese accent that he goes a million miles an hour with shit that's so offensive that you go, what the and he's already doing the next offensive thing.
Oh yeah.
It's just he's hammering you.
Yep.
So do you remember?
He started off that set and it was a long story. And like Gabe had really blown Yoshi up talking about, oh, it's so dark, all this. And I'm watching, I'm like, I don't see it yet. And then after that first build up, just boom, boom, boom.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh my, it was
a
punchline every 6-7 seconds.
Yes.
It was, I have never seen that much punchline.
I am so proud of him, man.
It was wonderful.
You know what his background is?
He did like DVDs for porn or something.
He fucking edited porn.
Yeah, Evil Angel. That's what it was.
Well, first, one of my earliest memories of him is me and Josh Wolf and Yoshi are sitting around a table waiting for open mic in Seattle. We're just getting started.
Yeah.
And everyone's complaining about their jobs. Josh says, I need to get a job that will give me more flexible hours so that I can tour. And I was like, man, I need a job to pay me more money. I was making $6 an hour at Ticketmaster. And then Yoshi, out of the blue, goes, yeah, some guy tried to steal double head dildo from my store today. And I saw him put it in his pants. And I chased him out of the store. And we ended up wrestling with the double head dildo on First Avenue. I ended up hitting him over the head with a double head dildo. And I was like, dude, where do you work at? And he goes, the porn shop on First Avenue by Pike Place. And I was like,
that's his routine.
Dude, I thought you worked at Starbucks. And I was like, why are they selling double-headed dildos at Starbucks now?
Very progressive.
And
very progressive.
And then he goes to all these porn conventions and makes so many friends in the porn industry that he moves to LA, as a lot of comedians do. They move to LA or New York and now Austin. And he has a job editing porn for a living.
Mm-hmm.
And he would never quit that job. I would bring him backstage to huge concerts and introduce him to famous people and go, hey, if you're ever in LA with a day off, go to the Comedy Store and see this guy. This is my friend Yoshi. He's one of the funniest guys on the planet. And they go, oh, okay, cool. Nice to meet you. And Yoshi would always ruin the moment by going, do you like porno? And they go, I'm sorry? And they go, do you like porno?
Mm-hmm.
And they go, sure. Because I edit porn for a living. I brought extra copies you can put on the bus. Here's a couple. I remember one time he goes, here's Weapons of Ass Destruction.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I got nominated for that one. And but yeah, here, and they'd go, all right, guess I'll go jerk off now. I'm like,
speaking of lack of self-awareness.
Like, what the fuck, Yoshi? I'm trying to like hook you up and like, elevate you and say, you got to see this guy. And you keep bringing porno with you.
Yeah.
It's changing the mood for everybody.
He's making himself invaluable.
Dude.
Like, hey, I'm going to go see him because we need that spank bank for the road.
If anyone sees that Yoshi is anywhere near, by the way, when I first moved to LA, Yoshi was one of my roommates. I moved in with him and another comedian from Seattle. And my first weekend, I saved this message. He left me a short message. I still have it somewhere. It just goes, boop. Hey, Craig, it's Yoshi. I'm not sure what you're doing this Saturday, but a friend of mine, he's a big porn director. He needs 5 guys. It's just from the waist down, but he needs 5 guys to come on his girl's. It's $100 if you want it. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And I called him back and I said, Yoshi, it's Craig. I just got your message. First of all, thank God I don't need $100.
Yeah.
Secondly, I am here in LA to get credits. I don't think these are the credits. I don't want to have Schindler's Fist or Men in Back or whatever it is that you're filming.
Men in Back. I like that.
And so he was just like, he's always been one of the most polite guys. Everybody loves him. He's so likable and so nice. He'd go to porn conventions around the world and then come back and be like, hey, I know it's your girlfriend's mom's birthday next weekend. I know she collects these. And when I was at porno convention in Germany, I saw this at the airport and be like, what the fuck? He was so thoughtful.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and he's just a really good guy. And holy shit, he is one of the hardest people to follow on planet Earth, dude.
Yeah.
He is a monster. He's such a powerhouse. You know who loves doing an impression of him? Tom Segura.
Really?
Tom loves him.
Nice.
And has him on his show. When Dave did Dave's Old Porn, I think it was called. It was a TV show about the
I forgot about that.
About the 70s porn industry.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yoshi was a consultant on that.
Of course he was.
Like, yeah, Yoshi is just one of my favorite dudes.
Have I talked about my experience dating a porn star on this podcast?
Was it the girl that I met?
Yep.
I think so. Matthew's nodding his head. Yeah.
I have said it. Okay.
I just remember meeting her and not knowing for like an hour and a half, she kept mentioning, like I would say something and she'd go, I know that guy. And I'd be like, you do? And you're like, yeah.
I'm in the back going.
Yeah. I know that guy. She knew every rock star personally. She knew every roadie personally. And I'm like, wow, that's weird. That's weird. That's weird. And I remember at one point she mentioned a guy who she said she knew. And I was like, how do you know that guy? And then she paused and she was like, I work in the porn industry. And I was like, oh, all right. Okay. Yeah. And then that night, all my social media, I got followed by the same name on all my social media. And I was like, who is this? Yeah. And I clicked on it and I was like, whoa, that's Chris's girlfriend's butthole. What the fuck? Like, wow.
Yeah, that was 1 month of questionable decision making on my part. But
I think if you have the opportunity, you have to. I think if you have
crushed.
Yeah.
I was worried. I was like, this is a pro. Like, what am I going to do?
I lived with a porn star.
What was his name?
I had just gotten out of a relationship, a 6-year relationship.
Speaking of questionable choices.
Yeah. And I lived with a porn star who I'd always had a crush on. But we were friends, always had a crush on her. And then after I moved in, I took her to a concert one night. It was a Disturbed show, actually. I took her to a Disturbed show in LA. It was at the Wiltern. So that's like the level that Disturbed was at the time. They weren't even at arena level yet. And I remember just kind of casually mentioning to her that I always had a crush on her. And she said, I've always had a crush on you. And I was like, and that night, everything happens. And, but I am more of a fully formed adult at this point. So it's like, all right, what am I doing here? I don't know if this is really. So we started having conversations where she said, are we boyfriend and girlfriend? I said, I don't want to be in a relationship. And she said, okay. And I said, I just got out of a 6-year relationship. And the one thing that I knew that I made a critical mistake on is I didn't want to be in that relationship and I stayed with it. And so I just know that the most important thing, as much as I like you, is to tell you I can't do it.
Right.
I like you. I just can't be in a relationship right now, which is going to resonate really hard with one person watching this. And I know that. So she said, like a week later, she goes, hey, can I run an idea past you? And I said, sure. And she goes, I know you don't want to be in a relationship, but what if you can have sex with any girl you want as long as I join you? And I said, okay. And she goes, and then I can have sex with any guy I want, and as long as you join. And I was like, oh, fuck. Ooh, no. And she goes, why does every guy say that? And I go, because it's not cool. Yeah. What the fuck are you?
The devil's threesome. No.
Yeah. And I was like, no, like you can't like, and then another week after she said, hey, can I just run another idea past you? What if you can have sex with any of my girlfriends, like all of my porn star girlfriends.
You go, why just the girls?
As long as I join. And I said, you know what? I go, as tempting as that is, I still know that I don't want to be in a relationship. So if I was to tell you yes, it would just be that have that opportunity.
Right.
And I can't lie to you. So
nice.
I you know, and then every guy I shared that story was like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You're hanging around with the wrong people.
Yeah. Dude, my ex broke up with me.
Yep.
Russell Peters broke up with me. Metallica broke up with me.
And tonight I would
Jeff
like to
Ross.
announce my resignation from Beardo and Weirdo.
The only way to end this podcast is to hear Matthew in the back go, hey man, if you're not going to pay this, I'm going to break up. Okay. I'm sorry, man.
He's grabbing the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're both fired.
See you next week.
Chris Kael at what's the website?
ChrisKael.com. And I don't know who does the YouTube, but I made a snide comment on it today. Can we get Kael spelled right on the YouTube descriptions? it's like the lettuce on there.
You're kidding?
Nope, I'm not kidding. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Kael is Chris Kael. I'm much healthier than.
Is it being spelled Kale?
Yep.
Who's spelling it that way?
I don't know.
Wow. All right. We'll get on
whatever
that.
the newest comment was, I was like, for the love of Christ.
Wow. Well, and I'm going to be on the road everywhere. I got shows. If you're going to the big Boardwalk Concert Festival in Maryland in May, I'm performing the night before the festival starts on that Friday night in Ocean Beach. And I got shows in Vegas, the residency. All the dates are at getgas.com. Getgas with 2 S's.com. And 2 pathetically single guys with lots of problems.
All that was correct except for the pathetically part. I also do want to thank your ex for the logo here. Thank you. Love going out to her as well. Love you both.
I told her.
I apologize to you too for being so involved. Same shit that happened with me and my ex.
Yeah.
I was too involved in my own shit and isolated and wasn't available to be there for you in that moment. I apologize, but looking at how this turned out, this is a fucking good podcast, so I don't apologize that much.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
It really doesn't feel good, but I wanted to talk to you about it and get it off my chest. And
and we're going to talk about clear communication as well, because you were saying in your stuff about I need to talk to you about the podcast, and in my mind, I'm going through my own shit. I'm like, fuck the podcast right now.
Yeah.
Had you said, hey man, personal shit's going on, I need you to pick up.
Yeah,
I would have.
but what I wanted to tell you is that there's something really important I need to say to you on camera.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I want to say. So
I would have lost my shit. I'd be like, what did I do?
Right.
I would have been thinking about
all
that
of our
for 4 days.
insecurities. All of our insecurities. Oh my God, can you imagine?
Yes, I can. I almost cried here in the cars today. Dun, 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 gah. Yeah.
How great would that be? And then like 4 days later, I get you here and I'm like, Chris, why don't you have a seat? Matt just wrote something he wanted to read to you. And he just looks at you and goes, you owe me $20. What the fuck? Really? That's why you made me wait 4 days for that?
That's daddy.
New mic filter.
Daddy's right there. Yeah. I'm the Instagram princess. This is daddy. Go to him for the money.
All right, come see us on the road. We're pathetic.
Not me. A couple weeks ago it was. You'll see those coming up too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What a difference 3 weeks makes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.